Okay, the next person that I'm going to introduce to you is Steve Koob. Steve is a retired Air Force major. He has a PhD and an MATS, what is that, a Master's in Theological Studies. He's co-founder and director of One More Soul, a local organization, and he is going to address the issue of God or Caesar, what or who has priority.
If you wear those t-shirts, they may make you take them off. Woo-hoo. There you go. Thanks for coming out this afternoon. God bless all of you. I'm not a rabbi, a pastor, I'm not a priest or a deacon, but I've read this book. Have you read this book? Yeah. We have lots of these books in my house. And I looked all over this morning for a copy of the Health and Human Services Mandate, and I couldn't find one. But I found something that I think comes close. The Children's Cookbook. So ladies and gentlemen, we're here to discuss, in a way, the difference between the mandate from God and the mandate from the government. Which are we going to follow? God's mandate or the government mandate? I'd just like to quote, not verbatim, but a few passages from the good book. The first one I'd like to tell you about is the render to Caesar that which is Caesar's and render to God that which is God's. Well, our government seems to have missed that passage someplace. They're trying to force us to do something that goes against our religion, that goes against most religions, and that is to provide contraception, sterilization, abortion, abortifacients, to everyone, free of charge, to your children, even though you wouldn't even know about it, because your insurance company wouldn't tell you. There'd be no charges. You'll all be free to tear your family apart, to tear our society apart, to tear our country apart. The next passages I'd like to quote from you are the first and second great commandments. You all know them. The first great commandment: love the Lord your God with all your heart, soul, and mind. The second great commandment: love your neighbor as yourself. What does the government want us to do? The government wants us to stay in our churches and honor and worship and obey our God, but don't go out into the public square. Just ignore that second great commandment. Don't be out there providing health care. Don't be out there providing schools, education. Don't be out there providing social services for the poor and the weak and the troubled. That's not part of my religion. I hope it's not part of your religion. We're required to look after our brothers and sisters that are with us as a family, our brothers and sisters all over this country, our brothers and sisters in the womb. So we cannot follow the government's mandates. We have to follow God's mandates. And finally, I'd like to quote to you from one of my favorite chapters in the Bible, the book of Genesis, the first book. The quote that God gave to Adam and Eve and to all of us was, "Be fertile, multiply, and fill the earth." He was afraid, I guess, we wouldn't get it if he only told us once, be fertile. So he told us 3 times, be fertile, multiply, and fill the earth. And then after the great flood, Noah, he had to tell Noah the same thing twice. Be fertile, multiply, and fill the earth. Be fertile, multiply, and fill the earth. What does the Obama administration say? Contracept, sterilize, abort. How can these two be reconciled? They can't be. We have to follow God's law. Now some people say, well, there's nothing in the Bible against contraception. There's nothing in the Bible against sterilization. I just quoted you what's in the Bible against contraception and sterilization. God didn't need a double negative, thou shalt not contracept. He said, be fertile, multiply, and fill the earth. So I invite you to join in that great quest that God has commanded us to do, to fill this earth with people. People like these beautiful children that stand before us. And all of you, men and women, grandparents, thank you for coming today. May God bless you.